Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So tomorrow, Monday, I'm expecting the Hot Toys DX Joaquin Phoenix Joker sculpted hair version to arrive. Going to do a review, and I thought it'd be interesting right before all that happens to take a look back at the history of the Joaquin Phoenix Joker in 1/6 scale, because I've owned all the really decent ones, all the third party ones, maybe not all of them, but a lot of them are here. So we're going to start at the beginning with the Toys era, which was the first one. Then I think it was the M Toys, then SW Toys, and then Inart. So let's take a look at some footage, all taken from our previous videos on these figures. Going to take a look at them just to get a sense of how far things have come, and it's pretty impressive when you look back at the beginning here with Toys era coming up to where we are now with the Inart and the Hot Toys version. It's pretty impressive. But this was the only option we had at the time when the movie, gosh, did this figure come out right before the release or right after the release of the movie? Everyone wanted one, you know, because the movie was pretty impressive. I know the sequel is not personally my cup of tea, didn't like it, but I loved the first film, and I was worried that the second film would kind of put me off my love for the first one, but it hasn't. I have gone back and watched it quite recently, and it's still just as powerful today as it ever was. But this Toys era version came with 3 different head sculpts, and they were all pretty damn good for the price point. You know, the Toys era figure wasn't that expensive. I can't remember how much it was, but all these third party Jokers were about 130. I think the SW Toys that we'll see later on was only £108, so very reasonable, you know, for 1/6 scale figures. The likeness was pretty good on the Toys era. Paint job wasn't that great. Hair was a bit short on this head sculpt here, which unfortunately, you know, because that was my favourite likeness of all the 3 heads, but the hair was quite short. I did modifications later on to make it longer, but that was the Toys era. Quite an impressive piece for the time. And then we had the M Toys version. Very strong, good solid figure here. Good outfit, really good head sculpt. Pretty decent body from what I remember, and they all came with the kind of accessories you'd expect. But posed well. You know, once you see the SW Toys version, which I got after the M Toys version here, I think it was pretty clear the SW Toys had one of the best third party head sculpts. M Toys head sculpt here, he just looked a little bit old, a bit older than he should do. The hair was decent. I mean, it was great. It was a really good solid detailed head sculpt with good paint apps, and the outfit was decent. The shirt was always a bit hit and miss with these third party releases, and the vest could be a bit inaccurate sometimes. But overall, M Toys did a good job with their Joker. I do still like that head sculpt. Then on to SW Toys. This was only £108, very reasonable, and one of my favourite of the third party Joker figures. Came with all the hands, flowers, mask, gun, and this head sculpt, which was, and is still, very good. The hands were trash, but a very good Joker figure here, third party. Doesn't cost too much. You know, I'm sure there's some people out there who have this and haven't felt the need to, you know, upgrade to the Hot Toys or the Inart version because they're still happy with this. I mean, it looks great on the shelf. SW Toys, never had anything else from them in the past, but I was very impressed with this. Now, when you got these, you knew that you kind of had to get some better hands, maybe switch around parts of the outfit. I mean, I Frankenstein together, you know, the ultimate Joker I could at the time with all the different outfits that I had from these different figures. But this head sculpt was excellent, and is excellent, still is. Very, very good. Great hair length, great detail on the hair sculpt, good paint apps, lots of life in the eyes. I was very impressed with this one. I'm sure lots of other folks out there are too. Let me know in the comments, which one of these have you owned, or do you still own? Which one was your favourite out of all the third party Joaquin Phoenix Jokers in 1/6 scale? Before the big dogs came in with their undeniably massive upgrade, officially licensed Hot Toys Inart versions. Good balance on this one too. Alright, speaking of Inart, that is next. And here it was. This was a game changer. These were and are still some of the most impressive 1/6 scale figures I've ever seen. The realism is off the charts. The tailoring, paint apps, the hair, the life in the eyes and the face. Absolutely unbelievable. I'm very curious to get this new Hot Toys figure tomorrow and see how it stacks up against the Inart version. But first I'm going to review the Hot Toys figure just on its own, not going to be comparing it to anything, just reviewing it on its own merits, and then once all the review stuff's done, I'll get to work on bringing you guys a really in-depth comparison between the Hot Toys version and the Inart version. Now, I didn't get the artisan version by Hot Toys with the rooted hair because it was silly money on eBay, and I've seen a lot of stuff in the past with the artisan hair that made me very wary of it. So mostly it was the price, because I do think in all the pictures and footage I've seen so far, there's only the figure hideout video on the internet at the moment, and the hair does look very good on that. Perfect almost. But it was silly money on eBay. I mean, one guy was trying to sell it for £1,000. I paid $400 for the sculpted hair version. And another factor is, I know from the Inart version, as real as it looks, I'm always scared to move the eyes because it means you have to kind of lift up the back of the hair and get to the eyes that way. So I really don't like to do it very often, even though it's so effective and looks incredible when you move the eyes on the Inart version. But another factor with the Hot Toys choice I made for getting the sculpted hair was just that ease and peace of mind, knowing that I can just take off the back of the sculpted hair, move the eyes around and have fun. I've got this version for rooted hair and the Hot Toys one for sculpted hair. So really curious to see how the Hot Toys one stacks up. I do like the look of a lot of things on the Hot Toys one. I think the suit looks good. The only thing other people have mentioned it as well, I think the Inart one has a more accurate frame. You know, his size, his body, his, you know, the skinniness comes across, and the tailoring on the suit seems really, really perfect. But we'll see. I'm really curious to get it tomorrow. I've got some other stuff coming that I'm reviewing soon as well. This week's going to be pretty intense. There's a lot of stuff arriving. Had a really kind of quiet spell for about 2 months there on the channel, and now tomorrow there's a lot of stuff coming. So we got Joker, we've got some Inart stuff, and caustic plastic figures, NECA figures. So keep it locked, folks. Joker review coming up soon. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and follow me on Instagram at DKnight333. See you soon. Take it easy. Bye bye.